fight against terror in Afghanistan. Our shared sacrifices on the field of battle have only brought us closer and strengthened our commitment to freedom. And make no mistake about it, President Donald Trump and the United States of America, under his leadership, will not rest, we will not relent, until we hunt down and destroy ISIS at its source, so it can no longer threaten our people, our allies, or our way of life. Syrians and coalition forces drive ISIS from Iraq and soon from its very existence. Fighters returning home from the Middle East with the singular goal of sowing chaos and taking innocent lives. We must be vigilant to this threat. President Trump has called attention to, in his words, powers that seek to test our will, undermine our confidence, and challenge our interests. In recent days, we've seen the completion of Venezuela's collapse into dictatorship. Not only did the regime hold a sham National Assembly election, but on Monday night, the regime seized two prominent members of the opposition, Leopoldo Lopez and Antonio Ledesma, who are being held illegally as we speak. President Trump said yesterday the United States condemns the actions of the Maduro dictatorship, the safety of these two brave men. The United States calls on all who cherish freedom to condemn the Maduro regime for its power and its abuse of its own people. Venezuela deserves democracy. Venezuelan people deserve freedom. This week, the world witnessed again the grave and growing threat posed by missile capabilities in the hands of dangerous regimes in North Korea and Iran. Both regimes conducted provocative launches over a 24-hour span, march in the tapestry of freedom. Here in Europe, we must be resolute and uncompromising in the face of aggression from an unpredictable country that casts a shadow from the East as well. As you well know, Russia continues to seek to redraw international borders by force. And here in the Western Balkans, Russia has worked to destabilize the region, undermine your democracies, and divide you from each other and from the rest of Europe. Elections, attack your parliament, and even attempt to assassinate your prime minister to dissuade the Montenegrin people from entering our NATO alliance. The United States of America rejects any attempt to use force, threats, or intimidation in this region or beyond. The United States will continue to hold Russia accountable for its actions, and we call on our European allies and friends to do the same. Russia. Let me be clear. Prefers a constructive relationship with Russia based on mutual cooperation and common interests. Congress are unified to reverse the actions and conduct that caused sanctions to be imposed in the first place. Finally, in these challenging times, President Trump has reminded us all that our fight, in his words, begins with our minds, our wills, and our very souls. Strengthen our wills and refresh.
Of America, tonight, as we mark the conclusion of our celebration, Steve Chabot with Steve and Mike Kelly. Good, Mike. Thank you very much for being here, all of you. We really appreciate it. I want to thank Administrator Linda McMahon for doing a tremendous job helping small businesses all across our country. She has been incredible. Known her for a long time, and her husband and herself built an incredible business. She's determined to transform America and American dreams into reality. We also want to thank my daughter, Ivanka, for her incredible work on behalf of small businesses and women entrepreneurs. Your stories, and this is really a fact, and I've read some of these stories, but they demonstrate what it takes to succeed. You thrive because you found something that you love to do, pursued it with all of your heart, and never, ever gave up. So important, you just don't give up. America is on the verge of a golden age for small business. We're ending job-killing regulation. These folks know that very well, and we're really ending at a record pace. Okay? We're eliminating the massive restrictions on American energy, and Numbers are going to be released next week that are going to be earth-shattering as to what we're doing with energy and the amounts of energy we're producing, far greater than ever before. Market has reached an all-time high today. All-time high. Think of it. Nobody ever talks about it. They don't talk about the all-time high stock market. And they don't talk about another factor, that unemployment just hit a 16-year low. They don't want to talk about it. And I think to me, maybe the biggest is that GDP for the quarter just released at 2.6%. So that's so much higher than anticipated. 2.6 is getting closer, Gary, closer than we thought and a lot faster than we thought. But don't worry about the 3. We're going to be higher than 3 in the not too distant future, too. You know, very big thing. And the jobs are coming pouring back. Factories are coming pouring back into our country, Jobs are coming back. You saw the Foxconn last week. They're going to spend $10 billion, but he is one of the great businessmen of our time, and I think the number is going to be $30 million. So he told me off the record, he thinks he may go $30 billion. Think of this. He may go $30 billion investment. But he told me that off the record, so I promised I wouldn't tell anyone.